there's quite a big display of dominance. So whoever sort of comes up as seemingly stronger, I think the other one will back down. But you do, I think, get sort of these finishing blows where if one of the stallions gets kicked in the jaw if they get kicked in the leg with the force that these horses kick at, I mean, their leg will break. I mean, they're really, really kicking hard.
And healing a leg in the wild is not possible.
No, it's fatal for sure for them. I mean.
Welcome to the Animals Around the Globe expedition.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Animals Around the Globe expedition. And today we're talking with Alex, who is a vivid horse enthusiast and vet student, about the heritage of wild horses, especially in America, and what they're doing today and where they are today.
Yeah, for sure. Hi, everyone. So as we know, and we've all seen, I think, beautiful movies and footage where you've got these wild horses roaming free. But I think something that I tend to forget, and maybe others do, is that these horses they're a domesticated animal. You know, they're not separate to the horses that people ride or use in agriculture or, other things. And yeah, they still exist, in their wild element today, mainly in America. But there are wild horse populations in Australia. They're often famously referred to as the Brumbies. And there's Przewalski's, it's a bit of a tongue tie for me, horse in Mongolia. And yeah, they're actually the horse that's considered the only sort of truly wild species, because those specific horses have never been domesticated.
Awesome. And who brought them to America?
Yeah, so in terms of horses in the United States, they're descendants of horses brought to the Americas sort of by Spanish explorers, sort of in the 16th century. So, brought across on boats, and because that obviously is your only option back then. And yeah, they were obviously used for various reasons, perhaps in war and agriculture and transport. And I assume, somewhere along the line, a lot of them may have roamed free. Some batches obviously escaped and they continue to roam free, and they've been sort of breeding and are able to live in the wild per se.
Nice. And what do you think about this video of the bachelor herds at Foreman who kicked out a young male?
Yeah, so I think the social structure is really interesting. You end up with this herd of females and a dominant stallion, so the dominant male, and they're his females in a way. And boys or male horses that don't sort of submit and kind of behave according to the main stallion will get kicked out. So perhaps when they're quite young and they sort of become hormonal, they might think that they could challenge for dominance, but sort of there's a reason that the main dominant stallion is the one in charge, probably stronger, faster, better to fight, and he'll kick them out. With, the main reason being is he wants to pass on his genetics. Comes down to sort of survival of the fittest, and he doesn't want anyone else, mating with his females. And yeah, when they get kicked out, they either, I think, become sort of like a lone ranger on his own, but horses are naturally herd animals. So they seem to some of them form these like bachelor herds. So it's sort of a herd of young males. Yeah.
That's insane. And what are they doing then, or how are they passing down their genes then?
Yeah, so I guess that's where some of the footage and, what you'll see in the videos gets quite intense, or I think quite hectic. They come in and they suddenly now want females because they want to pass on their genes. And it's not like they don't have the urge either, I suppose, but they come in and they want to challenge a dominant stallion who might have, 5, 10, 15 mares, who obviously have some offspring as well. And they come in and they decide that they want these females. And in order to get them, they have to challenge the main man. And this will probably happen a little bit later in their life when they get a bit stronger, a bit more hormonal, a bit bigger, and they give it a go. And if they win, the dominant stallion, if he isn't sort of, gravely injured, he might carry on living with them, or then he gets kicked out and this new guy stays in charge or becomes in charge. And then, or he loses and he goes off with his tail between his legs. But these fights can end obviously gravely, kicks to the jaw. They might get a broken jaw, which means they can't eat. They might break a leg. An area that is sometimes seen like in the fights that these stallions go for is around like the jugular. And obviously with them, their teeth are pretty big, actually. If anyone's ever been bitten by a horse, it's sore. And now these guys have probably got bigger teeth as opposed to the ones we have that get ridden. And yeah, they could sort of try rupture the jugular then. They can bleed out. The dominant stallion may have been in charge for a long time. So I think they might, in terms of them losing, it might come down to them getting older. So I do think, especially if it's sort of like a lone bachelor stallion that comes in to try challenge, I do think that they would, I don't want to say prefer, but they might sort of recognize that the stallion is not as strong as he used to be. They also might be a little bit older and come in. But yeah, also one of the other reasons for a challenge, and the one particular stallion with his females who he's responsible for, the area that they're living in didn't have water anymore. So they didn't have resources. So it was his responsibility to get his herd to a place where they could carry on living and ideally thriving, to the point where if sort of he didn't find resources for his group of females and babies for them to carry on, they would have probably left him for this stallion, because the stallion would accept, new females, but they're not going to accept a male. Yeah.
And it's insane. I mean, they like try to bite, they try to ram with their head, with their feet, like anything they can use, right?
Yeah. So they often, in some of the footage, you'll see how they try to bring the other one down to their knees. That's also like quite a common sort of tactic. They end up like dropping try to get the other one onto its shoulder. That can often sort of symbolize a bit of like a victory. For those who have seen even horses that are castrated, or geldings as they're known, in a herd, if they're playing, you'll see horses display this kind of behavior, despite not having, the testosterone that a stallion would have. They still challenge for dominance, even in a domesticated setting. And you'll often see them play and they sort of rear up and try bring the other one down, just because they want to be higher up in the pecking order. There's quite a big display of dominance. So whoever sort of comes up as seemingly stronger, I think the other one will back down. But you do, I think, get sort of these finishing blows where if one of the stallions gets kicked in the jaw if they get kicked in the leg with the force that these horses kick at, I mean, their leg will break. I mean, they're really, really kicking hard.
And healing a leg in the wild is not possible.
No, it's fatal for sure for them. I mean,
insane. Well, thank you so much, Alex, for being on the show again. And
no problem. Good to be here.
I hope everyone learned a little more about wild horses today, and enjoyed the videos as well.